Hi, my name is Jimena and I am going to show you how to be making the unit circle. So first I started with my basic circle and I added the X and the Y axis, as you can see. And each quadrant is labeled, so this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, 3, and 4. And each quadrant is gonna have a certain set of coordinates. So in quadrant 1, each coordinate is gonna be positive, positive. Quadrant 2 is gonna be negative, positive. Quadrant 3 is gonna be negative, negative, and quadrant 4 is positive, negative. So once you have that, I started off by labeling the degrees in each angle. So first we started off with 0 degrees, work our way up to 90. Then this is 180 degrees, and this is 270. And the circle altogether is 360 degrees. So each quadrant is going to be divided into 3 sections. So I'll start by doing that. And make sure that these 3 lines are more together than these outside. So I'll do the same for each other one. Once you have each section divided by 3, you're going to be counting the degrees. So from here it's 0. This first space is going to be 30 degrees separate. So right here, this is going to be labeled 30 degrees. This one's going to be 45, and then 60 degrees. So as you can see here, the distance from this point right here to here it's going to be 30 units. Then from the 30 to the 45, that's 15. This is 15 as well. And this is 30 units also for the distance. And it's going to be the same all around the circle. So I'll just keep going from here. So this point, it's going to be 120 degrees, moving to 135, then to 150. And then this last one is going to be 180. Then from the 180 plus the 30, it's going to be 210 degrees, then to 225, then to 240, and right here it's 270. From the 270, this is 300, 315, and then 330 plus the 30 right here, it's going to be 360. So once you have that, each side is going to have a certain coordinate. So right here it's going to be 1, 0. Up here it's going to be 0, 1. Right here to this side, it's going to be negative 1, 0. And then that's how it's going to be. This is just to show us, like how I said that this is negative, positive, negative, positive, positive, positive. It's just to show the signs on each quadrant. So once I have this, I'm going to label right here. This is pi over 2. This is 3 pi, right here, 3 pi over 2. Over here it's just pi, and right here it's just 0. So once I have this, I can start filling in coordinates that are along here. Each of these lines has a certain point, and what I'm going to do now is go ahead and label as the unit circle I was first given. So to start off, right here it's going to be pi over 3, pi over 4, then pi over 6. On this side, it's almost, the denominators are going to be the same. So it's going to be 2 pi over 3. The denominators here and here are the same. Then 3 pi over 4. And then it's going to be 5 pi over 6. So as you can see right here, they have something in common already. This is 3, 4, and 6 on both sides. And on the bottom, it's right here, it's going to be 11 pi over 6. Then here it's going to be 7 pi over 4. Then 5 pi over 3. Over here, it's going to be 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 4, and then 7 pi over 6. Now you can see here, they're the same too. It's 6, 4, and 3. If you haven't noticed yet, these were 3, 4, 6, and these are 6, 4, 3. So basically, they just switched orders. Now it's like backwards. So now, once I have this, I can start labeling the coordinates for each of these points. Each line right here has a certain coordinate. So I'll start labeling right here. And this is 1/2, and then radical 3 over 2. That's 1 point. Then this one is radical 2 over 2. Then radical 2 over 2. They're the same. Then this one right here, it's going to be radical 3 over 2, and then 1/2. So basically, all you're going to need to do is memorize all these points, and the way they're going to change is with this. So now this point, they're going to switch. Now this side's going to be negative, and this is going to stay positive. So you just fill it in according to each quadrant. So I'll be doing that now. So for right here, it's going to be negative 1/2 over, and then radical 3 over 2. So see, all I did was make this side negative. It's the same, just negative. So for the next one, it's going to be negative radical 2 over 2. And then it's going to be radical 2 over 2. That's the next one. And then down here, it's going to be negative radical 3 over 2 and 1/2. So the points are all the same. The only difference is that I made the first number negative, and I'm just following this right here. And I'm going to do the same for right here and right here. So this one's going to turn out to be negative radical 3 over 2, and then negative 1/2. Since both are negative, both will be negative here. And also to add, since this is on the bottom half, this is now the negative side. The radical 3 over 2 is the second number here. Now it's the first, so these are basically flipping, except like the signs will still follow here. It's just that these numbers are gonna flip now since we're on the bottom side. So then this one right here, the second one, it's negative radical 2 over 2, negative radical 2 over 2. Then it's going to be here, negative 1 over 2, negative 3 over 2. Then over here, it's going to be radical 3 over 2, and then negative 1 over 2. And this point, if you can see here, it's going to be radical 2 over 2, comma, negative radical 2 over 2. Since it's positive, negative, positive, negative. And the last point right here, it's going to be 1 over 2, comma, negative radical 3 over 2. Okay, so right here, this is all the basic information you need for your unit circle. And aside from this, there were some patterns that I noticed going on right here. So one of them that I found was, for example, with the numbers right here. So the 2 right here times the 60 here is equals to 120. Then the 3 times the 45 is equal to 135. Then the 5 times the 30 is equal to 150. That's one that I found. Then for the bottom side, I found that 210, which is right here, divided by the 7 is equal to this 30. It's the same line. Same follows for 225 divided by 5, it's equals to the 45. And then the 240 divided by 4, it's equals to the 60. They all follow. And another thing that I found was that all denominators here are 2. And aside from that, something that's, it's logic, but also good to know is that in each quadrant, adding up, so it's going to equal up to the degree. So 0 plus 30 plus 15 plus 15 plus the other 30 is going to equal to 90. 90 plus the 30 is 120. Adding on, it just follows around the whole thing. And this is how I created my unit circle.